Hello my friends and welcome to Life Expansion. I'm really thrilled to be here today, really thrilled. And before I go on, I'd just like to get a sound check just to make sure that everyone can hear me first. This is exciting to be here, and I know that there's people here from around the world in various times. I saw someone here from 3 a.m. It's 3 a.m. in their part of the world. Someone here at 11 or 12 a.m. I'm here at 6:30 a.m., which I thought was 6 a.m., but something's changed with the time, so goodness knows what. Lovely that everyone can see me and hear me, and I'm just going to say some shout outs. If you're joining this live, thank you, and if you're not joining this live, if you're seeing a repeat, welcome to, and lovely to have you, and I send you a ton of love and good energy. Hello, let's go back here. Ginny and Tanya, Crystal, hello. Who else have we got here? There's quite a few. Elena, hello Elena, welcome. And I believe we have the same clothing. I've got this heavily meditated shirt, which I'm showing off today, part of the merchandising that I sell. Who else we got? If I miss you, hello Giza, Megan, Ali, g'day Ali, awesome sauce Ali, welcome. And Smoky Poo and Ginny. It's lovely to see so many people. Thank you very much for coming here today. I really appreciate it. And I believe now I've got an exciting show for the first 15-20 minutes or whatever it's going to take. So I'll do this show first and then we'll stick around. And I'm here opening myself to answer any questions that you might have, as long as they're not too personal questions as such, because I'm not a trained counsellor, so I can't go into in-depth there, but it's all good. I can do my best. And Anne Gret, thank you very much, Anne. Lovely to see you too. Claudia, lovely to see you guys. Okay, so now if I just bump the chat down, I might not see you, but I'll come back to the chat as we get our act together here. And I've got to get my, if you could see this screen, you have, when you do these live streams, you have to have about 4 or 5 screens open, so it gets a bit too much. So I've just moved this down here, and that can go down there. Okay, and today we're going to be talking about opening up our minds to all that is. Now, I would like to also give a shout out, first of all, there's 2 people I want to give a special shout out to, and that is to Jamie Drum from Relaxing Sleep Station. Many of you know Relaxing Sleep Station and know of Jamie, a champion of a man, a lovely man, and I like to support him as much as possible. He has just released a guided meditation for those suffering with anxiety and depression, and it's valuable, and I put the link in the description of this video so you can check that out. Well done, Jamie. Keep up your awesome work, and all this sort of work is much needed to help each other along, because we've all got our burdens to bear. And I'd like to give another shout out here to Billy Tucker, the drummer. And Billy, happy 50th? Happy 15th birthday just the other day. And Billy, I was just chatting with me the other day, he's from United Kingdom, and I love it when young kids are positive and have this positive mindset, it reminded me when I was young, when I was that age, and so I just want to give a shout out. He's on Instagram. You can check him out drumming. He puts up videos of himself drumming, and his Insta account is at, I'll write this in, Billy Insta, and it's at 1 Bill Music. At 1 Bill Music, and I think I've got that correct there. At 1 Bill Music, yeah. And as I said, champion of a guy, just drums along, puts up his work, and it's awesome. And that's how That's how things happen, and the youth today are the future of this planet. We're now borrowing this planet really from those guys, and we need to do all we can to look after the planet and to serve it well, so these guys can do the same and to have a beautiful planet to be on. Now, I must say that this morning, I'm going to be honest with you here, guys, I woke up with doubts swirling in my mind about doing this presentation today. Those old doubts that have happened time and time again in my life, the broken record, if you like, where the needle is stuck and it's just the things of not good enough, or that's no good, what are you doing, who do you think you are, and that needle had to be bumped this morning, I've got to tell you. And so I come in here, I got up half an hour earlier, and I put on affirmations, which I'm a dose of my own medicine, which I'm releasing tomorrow. They're morning time affirmations. They're I am affirmations of power. And guess what happened? Just by not following that curve of going down with the negativity and everything, I opened my mind to new thought, to new vibrations, and it picked me up immensely, so I can recommend my own work to you tomorrow. It'll be available tomorrow. I think I've got the link here. I'm going to put this link up so you can bookmark this one. If I can, Control copy, Control V. It's not available yet, but it's available tomorrow. It will be coming up. Or maybe today, maybe later today. Yeah, a few hours away anyway. But I just want to use that as an example, guys, that sometimes people think that I've got all my shit together and that everything is just so perfect. And it's by far, it's not the truth. But what I tell you with honesty is that I'm beginning to be more aware of this, and I'm not going down with it. I will push myself to conquer that old programming that I no longer need, and opening my mind to all that is. And I must say, I did notice a comment I read the comments beforehand, don't you worry, I might not comment, but I read a comment from Tanya Bradshaw saying, I would love to do what he does, but I'm too shy when it comes to cameras. And Ginny says, you could do it. And I can say this, Tanya, that the way we conquer this is simply by doing it. And by just acknowledge, okay, I'm shy, but that's not going to stop me. Don't let that stop you. You get out there and you just do it. Even if you've got an audience of one person initially, or even if you've got an audience of no one initially, that's the practice time. That's when you get better and better and better and better. And I still put my hand up, and I still get nervous to this day. But I'm not letting it stop me. No way, not for a moment. And I'm going to put up this slide here, which is the perfect slide for today. And it's, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Proverbs 23:7. This has so much truth in it. Whatever we think, whether it's the doubts, then we become those doubts. If it's the love vibrations, the good vibrations, then we become those good vibrations. And the good news is, this is just a thought away and a feeling away. And we have the opportunity to change this, no matter whether we want better relationships, whether we want abundance of wealth or abundance of happiness or more love or more joy or a better career, whatever we want, it can be ours for the taking. It already is ours. We just get in alignment with that, and it can be done. You see, everything in our life has started with a thought. Indeed, this shirt that my staff designed for me started with a thought and with a process of selecting the colors and doing what what he believed was right. And the shirt that you're wearing, the pants that you're wearing, or the shoes that you're wearing, the computer in front of you, the phone in front of you, everything has started with a thought. And if that thought was not carried through, you wouldn't be wearing the shirt on your back. You wouldn't have the phone. You wouldn't have the computer in front of you. This is why we must advance in the direction of our dreams and push through that fear if required. Indeed, excuse me while I have a bit of my cup of tea, if you don't mind, guys. Indeed, this Life Expansion channel a few weeks ago didn't exist. And I believed that it was time for me to start a new channel where I could freely speak, and where it wasn't necessarily about sleep and not even necessarily about meditation, but just about giving what I'm called to give. And so here it is. And as I said, fear. Did I have fear? Did I have doubts? Of course I did. Of course I did. But that's not going to stop me, and nor should it stop you. Go out there and give it all. And I'm a bit slow on the uptake of slides, but I want to show you what fear stands for. Many of you already know this, but fear equals false evidence appearing real. Okay, so, and someone just said, yeah, Anne Gret said fear is the opposite of love. Absolutely. And where there is love, there can be no fear. It lights up, lights the darkness goes. I mean, when you think about it, the whole thing of YouTube itself, the platform, someone thought of that as a platform that would give the opportunity people to share and express their views across the world. I bet at the time they would have had no idea that thought, that opening and expanding of their mind was going to turn into a multi-billion-dollar company with millions upon millions upon millions of people using it on a daily basis, which is now owned and operated by Google. They would have never have thought that. And thank goodness though they did think that, because they give us the opportunity now to express ourselves. So in short, whatever shows up for you, come in with an open mind and begin to be aware of the language you use, begin to be aware of the thoughts, and also take some time out, that next time you're out, listening to how other people interact. And you'll begin to hear that the majority of people, many people, talk negatively. So negatively, and it's why probably a lot of society is kept down. They might say, the weather's bad, oh, I'm feeling sick, oh, I'm feeling terrible, oh, such and such is a bitch, and just put down all this negative stuff, and it just keeps going down, and people begin to thrive off that. And that is something that we need to be aware of, and if we catch ourselves doing it, then we can change that thought within an instant, and then counteract that with, I am powerful, I am beautiful, I am creation, I am love. Hello, Dharma. It's my dog down here. We can change that, just a thought away and a feeling away. And if you want to be a king or queen manifester, then we need to shift our focus from what is to what we intend it to be. And then with joy, energy and passion. Of course, if you have thoughts of greatness, then keep up with that. Keep that going, because that's going to come more and more into you. But if you catch yourself like me this morning with these doubts, change it straight away, and begin to these affirmations of, and not just the words, because the words are just intellectual, but the feeling of and the words together taps into God, which we are a part of. And if we focus on these negative things, I am not good enough, or who do I think I am? We're insulting the higher source. We're insulting God, because God or the higher source, or whatever you choose to call that, intended us all to be beautiful spirits, which we are. And so if we think anything less, it's an insult to life itself. So we can move on, and before we begin to speak, slow down. Be aware of what you're going to say is going to serve yourself and the people around you. And if it doesn't, then just stop there. Change it to something else. I'd like to read you out an amazing a letter that I saw that Wayne Dyer received from someone that was listening to him. Wayne Dyer was the king of a great speaker on spirituality and success, and he passed on just only a few years back now, and a beautiful man. And I'd like to share this with you, and it's called "Can I Have Your Attention, Please?" I'll just grab myself a cup of tea quickly. A young and successful executive was driving his brand new Jaguar down a neighborhood street a little too fast. He was watching for kids. He slowed down as he thought he could see a child darting in and out the cars. As he drove past, no kids appeared. Instead, a brick smashed into the Jag's side door. He slammed on his brakes, jumped out of the car irate, looking for the person who threw the brick. He grabbed hold of a young boy, held him against a parked car and asking, "What was that all about? What did you do that for? Who are you?" Building up a head of steam, he went on, "That's a brand new car, and that brick you threw is going to cost a lot of money." "Please, mister, please, I'm sorry," said the little boy. "I threw a brick because no one would stop and I didn't know what else to do," and tears rolling down his cheek. "It's my brother. He rolled off the curb and fell out of his wheelchair and is too heavy to lift for me." Sobbing, the boy asked the executive, "Would you please help me get him back in his chair? He's hurt and he's too heavy for me." Moved beyond words, the driver tried to swallow the rapidly welling lump in his throat. He lifted the young man back into the wheelchair and took out his handkerchief and wiped away the scrapes and cuts, checking to see if everything was going to be okay. "Thank you," the grateful child said to him. The man then watched the little boy push his brother down the sidewalk towards his home. It was a long walk back to his Jaguar, a long, slow walk. He never did get the door repaired. He left it there to remind himself not to drive through life so fast that someone has to throw a brick to get your attention. Wayne Dyer. What a beautiful story, eh? And a true story reflecting of having a mind that's in the fast lane, too fast, closed off. It's time for us to open up those closed minds, to slow down and to reflect and to be aware of what is going on. I would like to share with you some manifestations that have taken place in my life, I believe beyond coincidence. The first one has happened probably about year 2000, long time ago. And I remember watching a concert with a singer by the name of David Campbell, a famous Australian singer who's now the presenter on the Today Show, the morning show of Australia. Has a beautiful voice, a brilliant performer, and at that time I was doing a bit of singing myself, and I went to watch his concert, and there was one song that stood out for me, and it was called Only Heaven Knows, and it was written by a man by the name of Alex Harding. I walked out of there, just that one song ringing in my heart, Only Heaven Knows, and I knew without a doubt that I would be singing that song one day. I would have to arrange to get the music. I didn't know, I knew the songwriter. I didn't know if the music was available, but all I knew is that I was going to sing that song. Anyway, I had a search for it myself online. I couldn't find any of the music, and so I called my management at the time, Stephen, who was managing me, and I said, look, I've heard this fantastic song. Could you please keep your eye out for it? It's called Only Heaven Knows. It's written by a man named Alex Harding. I don't know where it's from or whatever. And he said, sure, I'll keep my eye open. Anyway, time went on, and we couldn't find the music, and it just didn't happen. And about close to a year passed, and I'd still never given up hope about it. I was always it was in the back of my mind. It was stewing away, as it does. And I got a call from my manager, and he said to me about that music that you wanted. And I said, you've got it, you've found it. And he said, no. He said, I haven't. He says, but hold on a moment. He says, you're going to like this. And he put the phone down, and then a gentleman come on with an English accent, a thick English accent, and he said, hello. And I said, hello. And he said, I hear that you like the song Only Heaven Knows. And I said, yes. I said, have you got the music for it? And he said to me, he said, better than that. He said, I'm the songwriter. My name's Alex. And he said, I hear that you've always wanted to sing that song, and I would be happy to play the piano for you and back you. Now, can you imagine my delight of having the songwriter of the song that I love so much playing the piano for me? And can I tell you, 1 year later, exact to the date, I was performing that song at an AIDS benefit night on the same stage that I saw David Campbell singing it. The same stage, with the songwriter of the song I loved playing the piano for me. It was one of those things where it was like, for me, it was miraculous. And the beautiful thing is that Alex Harding and I went on to work together, and we did. That was our first album. It was called Found, and my younger years, way back then. And we worked together for years. We got to perform at some prestigious places, the State Theatre in Sydney, many concerts, and we released a CD together called Found. And this was my first CD. And I'll talk more about that later, but it was just an amazing thing, that one of those things that just happened. Not coincidence, my friends. Attraction, because I felt it with every fibre of my being, that song, and I was never going to let it go. And it was probably just so powerful that it just reached out across wherever, and it happened. And yeah, an amazing one. Another story of manifestation I'd like to share with you is I worked with people with disabilities for many years of my life. Many years, 20, 30, 40 years of my life. Well, 30 years, let's say. And I ended up starting at a program. We started a program called Altogether Drama. It was a 4-week come and try session of teaching people with varying disabilities, from intellectual, sensory, physical disabilities, psychiatric disabilities, in one drama group. This was back in 1993, 4-week session. The people liked it so much that I decided, let's continue this on. Let's keep this going. That group continued on, and we started to put together shows, and I started to write entire scripts for the shows, end of year concerts. And I remember sometimes showing others the script, and they'd say, how are you going to do that? How will they do that, more importantly? And I knew it in my head. It was already there, and I had no doubt. And so what I was doing was putting that expectation into these people that without a doubt that they were going to be fine, and they were going to present, and this was going to be a most amazing show. And of course, that is how each show turned out, time and time and time again. And sure, there were hurdles along the way, but we got through those hurdles, and the shows got better and better and better, with bigger presentations and lighting and sound. And can I tell you, the amazing thing is that group is still going on to this day. I think I'm about to go to a reunion this year of its 22 years or something. It is the group is still going on to this day, from a 4-week come and try session to now some of them have performed professionally with professional actors across the country, Victoria, across the place, Sydney. And I always believed in these guys, and there's some still original members in the group after 20 plus years. An amazing thing, an amazing group of people, and it just shows you that if you don't doubt, if you believe in something so strongly, you can overcome all odds. And it's there, the proof is there, the proof is out there. And I want to share one more thing with you. And this was when I was working with people with disabilities I'd moved to another area. And by this time, after so much time, I knew that I needed a break. And I would often go to work. I was working for an employment agency for people with disabilities at that time. And I would go to work wanting change and visualizing myself way up in a skyscraper, working in a skyscraper. I wanted to sit out and just see the place, see the city. And there was no skyscrapers in this little town, but I envisaged these skyscrapers day after day after day. And I could see myself in the window up there, and I knew that it was coming. Well, it certainly was coming, and this is another crazy one. What happened was, there was a job that come up for working for Virgin Australia as a cabin crew flight attendant. Have had no experience of that. In fact, I was afraid of flying. I had a major fear of flying. My palms would sweat on takeoff and landing. I was really terrified. And I don't know why on earth at that time I applied for the job. I probably thought that I wouldn't get it anyway, so I was just wanting to apply for all different jobs. I passed the first interview. I passed the second interview, and I thought, oh my goodness, what is going on? This is getting real now. What am I doing? What am I doing? I ended up getting the job, and I went through 6 weeks of intensive training, the most intensive training I've ever done in my life. I assumed that it was an easy job about just serving cups of tea. Oh boy, was I in for a shock. It was all about emergency procedures and knowing the aircraft inside out and back to front. Anyway, I did that job, and I overcome my fear of flying. By the end of the training, my fear of flying was gone. And here I was serving cups of tea, talking to people 30,000 feet up in the air, and it caught my attention. I looked out, and I was at peace and had so much love in my heart. And I looked out across the window, and I could see the sun coming up. And I thought, my goodness, this is what I wanted. It wasn't to work in a building. It was to work up high, to see different sights and to see the sun coming up and the sun going down and see various cities, not just one city. I got to see all the cities and I got to love it so much. And I felt so much joy and being of service to people, to making people enjoy it and to making people smile. I love that so much. It was an amazing opportunity. And yeah, it was an amazing opportunity. So there you have it, my friends. And whatever we want to do, we can bring this about with a thought. Just with a thought. I think the thing to remember here is that to keep an open mind, and if something is presented to you, would you like to do this or would you like to do that? Sometimes fear can creep in and doubts, and we say, oh no, I can't do that, I'm not good enough, or oh no, that's impossible, not going to do that. How about we begin to change that dialogue within our minds into, why not? Or let's do this, I believe I can do it. Let's give this a go. I haven't done it before, but why not? Why not give it a go? And I will tell you, when I got that job at Virgin, I wanted to pull out. I remember speaking to a friend and I said, I can't do this. I've got a fear. I don't know what I'm doing. I've got this fear of flying, and it's real. It's false evidence appearing real. It's not real at all. And I thought, I have to pull out. And he talked to me and he said, don't you dare. That's an opportunity. You don't know. Give it a go. And so glad I listened, because it worked out. I am sure that you have stories, plenty of stories, guys, of manifestation in your life. And no matter how small, even if it's, you wanted to see a coin on the footpath and the coin showed up. No matter how small, it's evidence that it's happening, that it's there. And I'm going to encourage you to tell those stories, because I am going to give away, I want to give away 5 copies of my CD, my first CD found. And plus I'm going to also give away 5 copies of the book called Illusions by Richard Bach, and one of the books that opened my mind to another life, another reality, if you like, of believing anything is possible. And if you've read that Illusions, you'll know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to give away 5 copies of, you'll get the CD and you'll get the book Illusions. They'll be mailed separately, because I'll get the book straight from the bookshops, mailed to you. And so what I ask you to do, and what I encourage you to do, is to write your manifestation, what you manifested in your life. Share this video. Number 1, let's start at the beginning. Number 1, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to the channel, share the video, and write in your manifestation of what you have manifested. And I'll get my staff and I will pick out 5 of the best winners, and you'll get the CD and the book sent to you. And I realized that the chat will go off, and the book author, by the way, is Richard Bach, B-A-C-H. An amazing guy, that guy. He's written many books now. Another beautiful book he wrote, actually a child's book, called There's No Such Place as Far Away. And that is heavenly. And it's a child's book, and I carried that around with me as an adult, almost like a Bible. Because you realize that we're all connected, and you don't need to be, you can feel the people in your heart. You don't need to be in the physical presence of them. It's all about the heart. Richard Bach. So I realized too with this chat that this chat will go off after a while. If it does go off, you'll have to then switch to write your manifestation story on the chat below the video, which will come up after a period of time, maybe 1 or 2 hours. It will show, and then you can write comments in there. So either and or. I would love to hear your stories of manifestation and how it's worked for you. And yeah, Ginny says, write about myself. Yes, indeed. So right now I am going to close the official session now, and then I'll open up to a little bit of a chat. But I want to close it with the prayer of Saint Francis, because this is an amazing prayer. And it says, Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, joy. O Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console. To be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Amen. Thank you very much for staying with me and for being here. I love all of you guys, and I connect to each and every one of you from this moment. From my heart to your heart, and thank you. And if you have any questions now, I'm available, or comments, or as such. Wow. Oh, Elena says we used to sing that, Jason, and what a beautiful, and how beautiful is it? How beautiful is it? And Ali too. And Smoky Poo says, like others, manifested your videos. And no, I'm not in Peterborough. I'm back in Windang. Would you believe? And hoping that this presentation went okay, because sometimes the internet here has been rough, but I'm hoping it's okay. Thank you for this. Livy says, how do you push back negativity if you are in a toxic environment? I encourage you to, first of all, to make all your efforts to get out of that toxic environment when you can. Because it's just going to make it 10 times harder for you if you're in that environment, if you stay in that environment. But again, it's about going inside yourself and tapping into who you are. And I think Ali suggested this last week, and it's putting yourself inside and visualizing yourself inside this bubble, a beautiful pink bubble. Zip it up and only allow love to enter that bubble, and it repels negativity. But my first suggestion would be to get out of that toxic environment as quick as possible. You don't need to be there. Another thing is if you only allow love in and you only give love, what you're also doing is not committing yourself to that lower vibration, and in turn you could actually be the champion and raise the vibrations. That's just another point, a side point there. You need a hug, don't you? You did great today. Thank you, Ginny. Hug received. Claudia says, did you make a meditation a few years ago about finding a spirit guide? Can you do a new one? Yes, I did. I did write one, Claudia. I'll keep it in my mind. I've got a few ones already on the drawing boards coming up, but I will keep that in mind. And it's probably a worthwhile point there. Thanks, Claudia. And Cherie says, I love your hoodie. I need one. And if you want one, I think I've placed the link of my merchandise store in the description below if you want one. So could I put the link here? I possibly could. I think it's in the description. You can check it in there anyway. Thoughts you are thinking about. Ali says, thoughts you are thinking about others are thoughts they are receiving from you. So true, and that's why we have to be careful of what we think about, because we don't even need to express that. Everyone can read us. You can pretend all you like, but everyone reads us. Yeah. How do we manifest? Now, is that how do we manifest Jason, as in me? Where do we start? Or how do we manifest Jason? Well, how do you manifest? Well, it's simply just by intending something and putting it out there as a belief and knowing it with all your heart and not looking back. And you can speak that out and intend it. And let it go. Please don't be connected to the outcome. Once you've done it, let it go. Just like when I believe I manifested to sing that song, Only Heaven Knows. And I desired it so much. I felt it inside my body so much. And then it didn't happen until a year later. I had let it go. I just occasionally would look around and, try and find the music, but then bang, shows up. And Colleen says the energy of this group is great, and I agree, Colleen. It's perfect. Manifest Jason through love. Tanya says, could you please give me some information on starting a meditation channel? I've longed for to do so, and I want you to start that, Tanya. Go ahead, open a YouTube channel. Begin today. Begin now, straight away after this, even if you take one step and sign up and start a new channel. And then you grow, and then you take just small steps at a time, one step at a time. Begin that. I'll offer you a gift. If you begin that channel and you put up your first meditation, I'm going to send you, come back to me, and I will send some subscribers there. I will help you get that rolling for you, okay? That's my gift to you, but you must put in the work. And you can do it. By all means, you can do it. You can do what you want. Baby steps, Anne says. Paul says, still want to manifest Jason showing us the airline safety door bit. Oh, that is so funny. And my goodness, I can't even remember it. Far out. I honestly can't remember it. Oh, that is funny. Oh, Paul. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you, Jason. Tanya says, I'm working as we speak. Awesome. Claudia says, I do Ho'oponopono when I walk my dog and he's afraid of everything. Since I do Ho'oponopono, my dog is less scared. That's truly wonderful. And that is amazing, Claudia. And yet it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. I think I once told the story of doing Ho'oponopono, walking my two dogs, and there was a big German shepherd that would bark at us day after day after day. And this time I thought, I'm going to do Ho'oponopono, and I will never forget it. That dog stood and watched us walk past without barking once, and I'm like, and it was probably because I put myself in an environment of not waiting, not expecting the bark to happen. I was so when we put ourselves in a thing of peace, that vibrates, and dogs can pick up on that more than people. Yeah. I encourage you guys, in a few hours I'll be releasing the I Am morning affirmations, and I was listening to them this morning to boost myself up after my little bout of negativity, and it helped me to come on here with trust and peace in my heart. If I missed some of your questions, I am so sorry, guys. I am I get lost here sometimes. Elena says, the world is having a jolly good belly laugh with you. Oh, I hope you guys have a lovely night's sleep. I know that many of you are going to sleep as I start my day. So, yeah, have a great sleep. Shannon says, have you used psychic experience as a result of your meditation practice? I used to see spirits but don't anymore. Shannon, I think some of that comes with the territory itself. I can't say I've used it much, but I have had things that have happened where it's just shown up for me. In particular, both times I've lost my dogs that have been close to me. They've come back, and quickly, only quickly, to let me know that all's okay. And but I can't really say that I've had, psychic experiences as such. I'd say that they're there though. They're there. And sorry to hear that, Claire, that you'd lost your dad to brain cancer, and it's hard, and I have no doubt it's hard. And send off love to him, as I'm sure you do. And Barbara Scott says, how did your guide David come to you? Have we all got spirit guides? I believe we do so. And I've explained, I think in I might have explained one of the videos, but David come to me a long time ago, in fact, 20 years ago or something. And at that time I thought it was an imaginary friend, and even the girl that I was with at the time, and she knew that I had conversations with David, and she knew David by name. But I thought it was an imaginary friend. I wasn't sure. Anyway, then I did the channeling course, the basic channeling course of Christina Hill, and I did the first meditation, and who should appear, who should come back was David. And I realized then that he's a spirit guide. He's been there, always there, to help me through times. I recommend Christina Hill's course on basic channeling, and the first part is for free. You're welcome, Claire. I love the community, guys. I love that you get the opportunity to talk to each other, and it's a beautiful thing. A beautiful thing. Prep Guy says, Jason, just want to say thanks. Had a real time with sleeping and drinking, and when I got back from Afghanistan, your videos have helped me back on track slowly. Thanks a lot. Hey man, you're most welcome, and God bless you, man. And I couldn't imagine what has happened, what you've been through, and what you've done. So God bless you, and and I'm only too honored that this work can assist you. God bless you. And with that, I am going to sign off. I know the chat will be open for a little while, so you can still talk to each other. But as always, I want to send you, and God bless the soldiers that have post-traumatic stress disorder. And I'm sure there are so many out there that have, and I send a ton of blessings, because I know that sometimes the governments are quick to send them there, but not so quick to give back to them, and that breaks my heart sometimes. And so if we can do whatever we can to help people with post-traumatic stress disorder, people that have gone through really times that I could not even begin to imagine. So I love you guys. Thank you very much for joining me, and God bless you all. And until next week, whether I have fear or not fear, I'm back here. And so sending you love, and namaste. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Sleep well.